Happy Thursday. Is it Thursday or Wednesday? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. Good morning. It's the Last Minute Laura show. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hi, everybody. And welcome back to the Last Minute Laura morning show. Good morning. Welcome back. I'm Laura. I'm also organizing my screens, so just chillax. I take this second to do this. You take the 1 second to hit the like button, and that way we are both gonna be, oh, my lordy lord, the internet is already struggling. Don't do this to me, internet. Lord. Lordy lord. The internet is questionable. Just FYI. There we go. Just in case I'm all stuttery. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you this morning. She's back. I'm back. From outer space, literally, because the signal for you to see me is like bumping, jumping to a satellite and back to me, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so for those of you who just like stumbled in and are like, what is happening here? This is Last Minute Laura morning show. I'm Laura. We hang out every morning, except for when I need a week off, like last week. Otherwise, we hang out, we have some tea or coffee, drink whatever you want, and we hang out. I brought out some plants today so you could see. You could see some of my plants. I actually have some like trimming to do. I want to kill all the dead leaves, like pull all the dead ones off. I figured we could do that together. So let me see. AJ's here. Good morning, AJ. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Candace. Cross your fingers. I know, right? I'm sorry. Frida, good morning. Lori, good morning. Hey, Nancy, good morning. Nice to see you. And Sid, good morning. I said hi to Frida already. Yes. And Jenna, good morning. Hi. And Dina's watching an ad, so when she gets in here, I'll say good morning to her as well. Beth, good morning. Nice to see you. Like and subscribe. Heck yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bethany says good morning. Good morning, Bethany. Nice to see you this morning. Darn, all that was in the chat before you even typed it live. Hilarious. Well, I gotta tell ya, the internet is questionable. It's raining today, and it's gonna be raining all day long, which is like mixed reviews from me. Happy because I don't have to water the garden. Mildly irritated because I watered the garden thoroughly last night. Also mildly irritated because it means I can't go play in the forest, which is fine because I have things that I need to do, but still I would have liked to go play in the forest. But what it does mean, good news for today, is that we've got the ability to pull some weeds out of the garden today. I haven't pulled weeds out of my garden. That's the whole sentence. It sounded like there was going to be something after that, but that's it. I haven't pulled weeds out of my garden because it hasn't rained enough, and it's like really not useful to pull weeds when the grass is dry because it just breaks off the weed, and you want it to be wet so it pulls out the whole root. Dina, I'm doing well today. Good morning. Thank you. How are you doing today? I'm back from a massive cleaning. My craft room looks so much better. Oh, AJ, come here and do it for my craft room. Seriously, my space has gotten to the point where it's like we're living like an episode of Hoarders. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I can survive in this kind of catastrophe, but I definitely could not have people over right now. Like, this table is like the plant representation of what my whole house looks like. It's just, there's no room for anything. Everything is just packed. We're like pack rats right now. Everything is everywhere. I say we. You all know who it is. It's not Alex. So it's fine. I'm dealing with it over time. So, Sid, you have drops of Jupiter in your hair. Now that she's back in the atmosphere. That's one of the only songs I can still play on the piano like perfectly because it's like 4 chords. It's da 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 da. It's very easy. but still, love that song. Hey Katina, good morning, glad you're here. How is everyone doing today? Good question, Dina. Well, I'm doing well today. I woke up, which is a good start to the day, must say. Jenna, so today's plan is to start my mission to go blonde. Oh dear lordy. Good luck, Jenna. Gentle, slow and steady wins the race. Laura, can you please check your Instagram? Oh shoot, sorry Sarah. You know what, let's just do it together now because obviously that just didn't happen. Now that she's back in the atmosphere, drops of Jupiter in her hair. Invite people. No, that's not what I want. Send a server invite or link to a friend. Okay, copied. Now I'll go into my notes in my computer. I'll paste that link. Then I'll go into that in my phone. Sorry friends, sorry, I'm not a tech genius, unfortunately. Sorry, Sarah. I promise it's not because I'm the worst. It's just because I'm the worst. Like it's not you, it's me. It has to do with the fact that I can't keep my mind steady for long enough to get anything done. Okay, hold on. Now that she's back in the atmosphere, drops of Jupiter in her hair. All right, I sent you a link. I hope that's the right link. Okay, don't forget to like the video in exchange. I have pencils all over my desk because I'm making a case and it's hilariously hard to type. Okay, so I'm not the only one who does stuff like that then. Puts things in literally over top of my keyboard and then it acts like they're not there. That's not just me? Okay, good. The last lot of colors since being blonde are brown, purple, red, and black. Oh god, Jenna. So there's a bit of a bit of work to do to get you out of the dark colors. Good luck. I believe in you. I've got color removal stuff and my mate's gonna bleach it after. Jeez. Well, good luck. I hope it works. Hello, Lori. Actually, to be honest, Lori, you were what inspired me to bring out all my plants this morning. I think, well, not all. Like some of my plants, let's be honest. I have a plant problem a little. I do that all the time, right, Frida? And then you're just like typing over being like, I know where the keys are. Who needs... It's fine. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys some updates on some of the plants that you might already know because some of them are named after you guys. For example, Kim and Candace, my two little baby Hoyas, aren't dead, so I mean that's good. Both have put out new leaves in the last 6 months. Candace is on a little bit of a break from leaf putting out. Here is, hold on. Candace is this little one here, this stick. This is like a, how old is this now? 4 or 5 year old stick of Hoya, just this piece here. Took forever to grow this one new leaf. So since it took a long time, I'm not in any rush to see the next new leaf. Whereas Kim is this one here, and Kim has put out 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves. 5 leaves have come off Kim, and baby Kim has a growth tip down here and a growth tip up here. So that's good. This is growing. My large Hoya, who is Jay from Australia, is who my large Hoya is named after. And check this baby out. She's been outside since it's been appropriate to have a Hoya outside. And she really likes living outside. This one is a happy camper outside. All the new leaves on this guy. Let me see if I can. Okay, so these are the exact same plant. This is what happens when it's in sunlight. this is what happens when it's like in the bathroom in the house. So once they're getting direct sunlight, they bleach out a little bit. It's okay though. It'll get back dark in the afternoon, in the winter. Bless you. Oh, that was a cough. Never mind. But anyway, you see these pretty spots. This is the same plant. This came off of this. So you can see there's one with spots on both. But something cool happens where they get really dark when they're inside and they get nice bright green when they're outside. And the new leaves, I don't have any new leaves on this one, but they're like brownish. And I am very happy about it. So Jay is doing very well. Jay, I hope you stopped by this morning so you get to see the update on your plant. If any of you have been in the stream for a while and you don't have a plant named after you, you let me know and we can name one after you. I feel like I saw one yesterday that I was like, I don't remember it being that name. Elijah the ivy I have. Good morning to those just joining us. Hi Augustine, nice to see you. Hi Elsie, hey. I almost said my crochet corner. Hello Maddie, love the spot. Aren't they sweet, Frida? Me too. Ooh, a mini vacation, that's nice. Dina, I'm glad. Remember, old and decrepit. No, Candace, not old and decrepit. Growing slowly. I'm starting to have a plant problem. How do I know when to put a cutting in soil? Oh, well, wouldn't you know? I'm showing you some cuttings today, so I can show you one that is ready to go in soil. And I think I probably have a few that are not ready to go in soil. So I have cuttings of my string of hearts because it broke when I was potting it up. But I have this wandering Jew. This is ready to go in soil. That one. That much roots is enough to go in soil. Let me pull this. I also have a baby orchid sitting in there. I figured if it has somebody else with it who already has some nice roots, it'll be more likely to like put out new roots. And B, I was right. Check out that. Hold on. So this used to be a full-size orchid and it progressively died and died and died until there was only 2 leaves left. So I sat it in water and you can see there's new little rooties growing off of the tips of those little green roots. And look at this. Got 2 new leaves coming out. So I think we're gonna live. I think she's gonna survive. I'm gonna try and pull out one. Nope, that's good to go in the grass too, in the dirt too. I would say give yourself 1 inch of roots at minimum, Lori. But depending on the plant, honestly, some plants I'll leave in until way a lot of roots are there, just because I know that the plant is such a slow grower. Like with these guys, they grow so fast that honestly, if you put them straight into dirt, you'd probably be fine. Oh wow, that's fast. It's already dropping roots. How about on this one? None here yet, so I'll show you on here. This little string of hearts, that little thing is not a root. Let me pull it off so I can show you which one is a root. That's a flower. Okay, here's the root side. Do you see that little... There it is. Do you see the little white lines at the bottom? Ignore my fingers, I've been digging through dirt today. That's nowhere near long enough. If I put that into the water, if I put that into the dirt, it probably won't make it. So yeah. Do you use tap water? Honestly, I do, and then I don't change my water. So this water is like weeks old. A lot of people say like change your water once a week or change your water every time you water your plants. And I'm just like, it just seems like a lot of extra work for me, and the plant really doesn't mind. I haven't had any plants die because of the water quality. Like cuttings, I would say my success rate with cuttings is like 90%. Cuttings tend to live. I haven't lost that many cuttings like over the time that I've been doing cuttings. Cuttings. But yeah, some people say like, oh, if you have dirty water, your plants won't root. I never have found that to be a problem. So in my opinion, yeah, go for it. Use tap water. It doesn't matter. Your plant the only one that I would never use tap water with, I have one plant that I won't use tap water with, and that's because it is, like, honestly, excuse my French, a total bitch. I would use, this is one plant where I would use, like, the C word. That's how drastic this plant is in terms of its needs, and that is the prayer plant. This one is got a dead leaf that I need to trim off right now. Hold on. Let me just shove my little orchid back in the water. If you water this plant with tap water, which I've done a couple of times now, if you do that, this is what happens. These little brown crispy edges on the leaf. Sid, I don't think I mean dirt when I say dirt. I think I mean like algae when I say dirt. I know I said dirt, but I don't think I meant dirt. But anyway, this plant is the only plant that I have. There are some other plants in the world where if you water them with regular tap water, something happens and they struggle because of the salt and the salts. Alocasia poly. Yes, you did. I had the cutting that I really hope roots. Okay, well, Alocasia poly is this one, right? You got a cutting of him? Well, what happened for me this year, Lori, I actually have babies of this year. So if you guys remember, I got this last winter, early winter. It wasn't, Alex, did we go to Ottawa before Christmas? When we went and saw Mallory, what was the, when I got this big plant. Remember at like Home Depot? How do you have so many spider mites with no damage? That's okay. My plant is covered in spider mites with no damage being caused to the plant. Usually this plant, if it gets spider mites, it's very unhappy. So this one has to go into the shower today. Oh, maybe I'll just put it outside. It's overcast, raining. That'll get rid of the mites. Anyway, this one, if it gets spider mites, it'll probably die. Picky plant. Yeah, pretty much, Frida. This plant, little guy here, is picky. And the problem is if you water it improperly with the improper type of water, it's going to suffer, and it's visible suffering. CJ did this. That's why that looks like that. But anyway, this Alocasia poly was gone. If you guys remember, I purchased it when I was in Ottawa visiting my sister, and I purchased it for $7. And it had like 8 or 9 leaves on it at the time. And then on the drive home from Ottawa, one of the leaves snapped, and then CJ knocked over the container 2 or 3 times, and that snapped a bunch of the leaves. Basically, just over winter, it didn't survive. And I thought it was dead, but I was like, I'm not getting rid of it because I can't. There was nothing here though. There were no leaves at all. Nothing. There was this thing, this brown thing, but nothing coming out of it past here, and this didn't exist. So I dug it up, I replanted it in fresh dirt, gave it 1 water, and then left it alone for a long time, and we got 1 leaf that came out. I was ecstatic. And then this second leaf came out of the ground, which I was like, that means there's 2 plants now. Opened up, and CJ bit it while it was opening, so jerk. And now a 3rd and a 4th leaf are coming. Oh, so crunchy still. Like a baby butterfly. But this leaf is going to be a big one. Big like this girl. Look how beautiful that leaf is. Is that not the craziest? Lori, I will say the place where this plant has been happiest I've had it in every window because I don't want it to die either. The place where this one's been happiest is in a directly west-facing window, but with a couple of plants in front of it between the window. Because it's like in the jungle plant, not out in the sun plant. But anyway, that one, with a cutting of that, I would say leave that in the water as long as possible. Although, how does your cutting look? Like, where, because the leaf, I haven't rooted one of those successfully, so I don't know. That being said, I do know something really exciting. Hold on, I'm trying to, which side's the root side? This side. That being said, something happened as well, Lori, where my Alocasia poly put off these little offshoots on the roots, like little bulbs, and I kept trying to make them grow and they didn't grow, and I was like, they're dead. It's over. They aren't anything. And then they sprouted in a terrarium. So when I repot this Alocasia poly at the end of this season, I'll remove those little, like, they're not seeds, they're like bulbs, but I'll remove them. I'll send you one and just put it in dirt and leave it alone, and in the spring it'll come up again. Or at least, like, that's what happened. I don't know if that's what's supposed to. I also have this little spider plant that may or may not survive. Still unclear. Why did I do that? I poured water right into it. It has holes on the bottom. I am now soaked. Well, that happened. Anyway, I have a spider plant that I took as a cutting from a local, like, planter pot in my downtown area. Hi. Can I help you? No, I'm wet. You don't want to sit on me. You're going to notice real fast. Okay, or not. Anyway, very healthy, but no roots. Well, hopefully, does it have a node? Like, is there a spot where roots can grow out, or is it just a straight cut leaf? And Sarah, super pretty. I think so too. Sarah, how's the bird of paradise liking outside? Honestly, if I could be 100% honest, I don't really think that she likes it outside. Like, the leaves are curled up. Like, the leaves are big, long, flat leaves, like my banana plant here. But the leaves have curled, like, this way. They're not, like, brown or anything. They're still green. They're still putting out new leaves, but I think the heat and the dry is a little much. But everybody on the internet said that they like the sun, so I'm gonna let her have it. Also, my baby watermelon peperomia has survived. It was a little touch and go there for a bit. It's super warped and damaged just from, like, the hard life I forced her to live. But I'm sure the cuttings and babies I will get off of this plant will make up for the fact that it is so sad right now. This is my watermelon peperomia. This is what the leaves look like on the whole plant. You can see they're warped and it looks like they're folded. What they should look like is this. They should be large and flat and not oblong shaped like this. They shouldn't be folded like this. And this is not a thirsty plant. It's just super warped. So this is what they should look like. So these cuttings I took off of the plant, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago now, and they've all got roots, which is good. That's a good sign. One thing I recommend if you're somebody who likes to take cuttings of your plants, take cuttings of a plant that roots super easily with your cuttings. So, like, I know Wandering Jew roots easily, and this cutting is ugly, but I was like, it has enough space on it to make roots. So with my watermelon peperomia, I put in a cutting of Wandering Jew. And when Wandering Jew is making its new roots, it's like putting a hormone out to make that happen. And apparently that hormone can incentivize another cutting to put out roots. So Pothos and Wandering Jew, put a cutting of either of those in with every cutting that you make, and you'll end up hopefully with more successful cuttings. I don't know. That's what I've seen in my life. Okay, also my string of turtles. I was telling you guys how I really want a string of turtles. But I'm kind of like, okay, like, this is like dramatic. I can go buy a string of turtles. I know the garden center in Dundas. There's a garden center in Dundas, which is like a kind of far away, but it's near enough. It's a town sort of near enough. I can get there. It's where my doctor is. So in Dundas, they have this amazing garden center. I know they have string of turtles, and it's like $15. I know I can find it. I know I can buy it. That's not the point. The point is I haven't, because I'm the person who every time I see it at a garden center, I go like, I don't need it. I don't need it. But then I leave and I'm like, oh, why didn't I buy it? But I have this cutting from one time I went to a garden center. It was on the floor. I was like, Anyway. It was just the big leaves. So there's like, I'll show you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves that were the original cutting. Just again, excuse my hands. I've been digging through the dirt this morning. It's been rainy. So the only leaves that were on this plant were this one, the big one back here, the big one back here, and this one up front. And now look at all the new leaves. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And check this baby out. Da-da-da-da. So basically, my string of turtles is gonna happen. It's very much gonna happen. I'm super pumped about it. How are you doing, madam? Why are you so... Why you gotta be so yellow? Okay, so this here is actually a weed from my garden that I really like. So it's some variety of clover, Oxalis something. It's hasn't flowered for me yet, not this one anyway, but it has had some yellowing leaves, which may be because of mother flippin' spider mites. All right, I'm sorry, I'm getting rid of you. There's so many I can replace this one with outside. It's like a weed from outside, so I'm gonna replace this one with a new one from outside because this has spider mites all over it. Who else has spider mites? Do you? Is that why, Paulette? Is that why you've been so sad? My obtusifolia, my Peperomia obtusifolia has been so sad lately, and I wonder if it has spider mites also. Okay, so anyway, gotta get rid of that. I'm gonna put that away. I have those all over my yard. Yes, well, I have normal clovers all over my yard, but this kind keeps trying to grow in my garden. Oh, bye, Beth. Have a good day. But this kind tries to grow up in my garden, and it grows up, which I think is so cute. Isn't that cute? Unfortunately, see that yellowing on the leaves? Let's see if I can get it to focus. Nope, it only wants to focus on me. Anyway, it has spider mites. This one, I'm not 100% sure what it is. I think it's called a heart-shaped philodendron, but it finally decided it doesn't want to die, so that's great. It's been touch and go with this one for a while because it just wanted to die. Everything that I did wasn't good enough, and I was just like, I'll do what I can, but if you don't want to survive, I can't make you survive. Luckily, she's decided she wants to. That's why we've got some of these cute little light-colored leaves, but look how pretty these leaves are. Aren't they cute? Little heart-shaped leaves. Oh no, Teresa, what happened? Good morning. It's been a few weeks on here. Chemo's kicking my butt. I'm sorry, Teresa. Oh, well, I hope you're feeling better soon. I don't even know how to say anything about that. That sounds awful. I'm glad you're here, but also that you're going through that. But we're here for you if you want to, like, excuse my French again, if you want to shit talk chemo and talk about how it's the worst, you're free to do so here. We will happily listen. I see why you put it outside, though, Sarah says. It has to take up quite a bit of space in your house. I mean, so does that plant, so does this plant, so does that plant. I'm not minding it outside. It's supposed to be happier outside in the summer. I want her to grow, so outside is better for now. Yes, sending all the good vibes. I love this group. So heart, look, I'll send you hearts. See, Teresa? Heart-shaped philodendron. So that's a happy plant. This is, don't know what that one is yet, so we'll skip that for now. The plant Candace gave me on my birthday doesn't seem to know what it wants. It started out as a very low to the ground pink plant, and it grew into a tall green plant. I mean, it's beautiful, it just doesn't know what kind of plant it is anymore. See? Got little pink spots. This is healthy. It's watered. It's growing. It's just kind of, it just turned a little weird. Sometimes it's just what happens. Plants don't always have to do exactly what you want. The rules are, there ain't no rules. Okay, another one that I wanted to show you guys an update on. Jenna The Swiss cheese plant needs actually a cutting as well. I have a yellowing leaf. A yellowing leaf, I say. What are you doing here, yellowing leaf? You are going to go into a cutting container just in case you'll root. They never root, but it's worth trying. Anyway, Jenna, the Swiss cheese plant, is doing quite well now. I've got 4 plants in here and an addition. Ooh, hello. You guys get to be here. Hold on, I'll help you out, little one. For the birth of a new leaf. Ugh, there's a new leaf. Congratulations. Oh, Jenna, it's a leaf. Anywho, friends, so Jenna, the Swiss cheese plant's doing very well. Here we go. Here's the, uh-oh, I see yellow in the viewfinder. What's wrong with you? You're not even that old. Why are you yellow? Anybody else? You too, what's going on? If this is spider mites, okay, no spider mites on you guys. Good. Anyway, doing well. Bethany wants to know if you can name a plant after her. Is Bethany in the chat, or are you're with Bethany? That's why. And yes, totally, we can name a plant after Bethany. Hold on a sec though. Let me go through my plants first, because I like to show you my plants. Okay, so one plant that's been really difficult for me, I've been trying to transplant this clover plant, this actual, Sarah, no big deal either way. Yes, I can definitely do it. Those leaves are big bullet journal spreads lately, and everyone says the name of the plant. I hear it in Laura's voice. Which one? The Monstera Deliciosa? And I'm glad you hear it in my voice. But also, okay, so I've been trying to transplant this Oxalis for this girl in my town who needs a cutting of an Oxalis that's rooted, and I'm like, I can do that. I've already been doing that. She watches with me. Okay, cool, Sarah. Yeah, totally. Give me a minute and I'll show you some of the unnamed plants, and then we can pick one for her. Okay, so Oxalis, very hard to transplant. Don't know why. They just don't like to be moved. They're very sad when they're moved. They are, I don't know. It's weird because when I transplant a clover from the yard, it's fine. I transplant a cultivated clover, troubles. But it lives. This one Oxalis triangularis baby has made it. Look at with the purple back. This is going to grow. I told her give me another week with it because I would like to just give her a stronger plant. My plan is to also actually to give her 2 plants because she's like trading me for 1 plant. But I have this second plant. These are both 1 plant. When I put this plant into this cup, it had that many leaves on it. All the leaves dropped, and this is a brand new leaf. So what I'm thinking of doing is just giving her this glass jar and being like, give it a year in here and then transplant it. It's not happy outside of this. But inside of this, it's pretty happy. It's putting out new leaves. It's like living its best life. Basically, if you didn't know, you can root Oxalis triangularis or shamrocks. Let me see, I have one here in a cutting jar. Here you are. You can root them and they'll make a new plant for you. I know that's obvious with a lot of plants, but it's not always obvious with a plant with such a delicate leaf. I didn't know. I think it was Nancy who told me you could do that. Like, I was taking my Oxalis plants and like cutting them to clean up the plant, like not taking cuttings, like cutting off the dying leaves. And then I remember one time, I think it was Nancy, who said like, you know, you can root those cuttings. So I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I tried and you totally can, which is awesome. There we go. Well, I have this beautiful plant that's called a string of hearts. I don't know if you saw it, Bethany, but it's, let me try and, I'm going to show you the cutting because I don't want to take the whole plant down, but this string of hearts is currently unnamed, and that's what the leaves on the string of hearts look like. They're little heart-shaped leaves, and the tip, the growing tip, doesn't have hearts on it. It's the older leaves that get hearts. Aren't they pretty? It's like a succulent sort of leaf with a very skinny stem. And they make black flowers. I just pull the flowers off though because I find them to be a waste of energy for my plant because I don't care about the flower. But we could name that after you if you'd like. Oh, hey V, good morning. And what else do I have to show you? Oh, my Monstera Deliciosa. Did I show you this yet? I might have already showed you, but look, she made a new leaf. There's no holes in it yet, so the holes that are gonna show up when the plant looks like this, she says you can name the string of hearts after her. Awesome, that's awesome. So this is what the leaf should look like when it's like a grown-up plant, but the baby plant is just a big leaf. So in a little while, like once this one starts to release its second leaf, then I'll just cut this off because I don't need it and it's damaged. But until this has a second new leaf, I'm gonna leave it attached because, oh, baby, look at that. That's a good feeling. Seeing those, oh, 2 of the holes have roots coming out. That's so delicious. Look at those roots. Come on, focus. Anyway, you can see them. I just washed my desk and now it's covered in dirt. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to show you as well. So you guys saw my Jenna, my Swiss cheese plant. Look at this one. I have a second one that I grew from, yeah, this one's from a cutting. I grew this from a cutting, you guys. And it's very small because it's a baby, but it's doing its best. So I have it in a teeny tiny pot, just sitting in the kitchen window, which is direct eastern light, gives it a lot of good morning sun. Also, my begonia Fedor, has finally survived. I put 3 cuttings into this container and all 3 of them have decided they don't mind being alive and they will stay alive for me. So I'm happy about that. Probably going to be selling this one. It was just I wanted to make copies. She really likes it. Oh, good. You don't have a plant either, Katina. We need to get a plant for you too then. After I show a few more, I'll show a selection of plants that aren't named and then we can name one. Also my baby begonia, which is named Maddie. This plant has given me a little bit of a headache, I'm not gonna lie. I really like it, but for some reason it doesn't want to grow outside of a terrarium. The plants that I have of this plant that are growing in a terrarium are like silvery pink, like they're beautiful, but for some reason every time I try to grow it as a plant, it's just struggling. So the leaf on this plant, on a mature, healthy version, hold on a second there, lady, should look like this, like silver, pink, the perfect color for Laura's hair. This is what the babies look like when I try to grow them. So this, I'll put this in the ground eventually, and you'll see, hold on, there's itty bitty leaves already. And those leaves will turn into whole beautiful leaves. Oh, like that begonia. Me too, I like this begonia too. It's beautiful. And the leaves come out in different shades, like that's from the same plant. And they put roots out on their leaves, which is awesome. The awesome thing about this one is it's such a tough plant. It even puts roots out on like pretty damaged leaves. Like this leaf is a damaged leaf. It's got like burning on it from just direct sunlight, and the roots are coming right out of the head of the leaf. So that's one nice thing. Whenever I'm like cleaning up one of these plants, like removing leaves just because it's not pretty anymore, I end up with new cuttings. Hold on, let me just, I want to split this cutting. Also, with plants like this, if you're trying to make a cutting and you only want it to be a certain length, you can just pinch off other nodes, and this, I'll put it in a terrarium and it'll root a new plant. When in doubt, just shove your cuttings, like these 2 leaves that I just ripped off. They're just leaves. I'll shove them into a terrarium and leave them there for a few months. They'll root and make a new plant. I just didn't want the cuttings to be that long in my little cuttings cup. My cuttings cup. Okay, there we go. Ugh. Okay, I have this other, this little terrarium. It's not a terrarium, it's just a jar with a lid on it. I want a pink plant. You have a pink plant. Yours is the Oxalis triangularis. Hold on. There's another name after it. Can't remember. I'm going for my geranium collection. A geranium. I have a geranium outside. A reddish pink one. Anyway, in this jar, I had planted a whole bunch of rose seeds from my grandpa's rosebush plant, being like, at least one of them will germinate. Well, none of them germinated, but a clover germinated right from 0. Like, there was just dirt in here. And then eventually I shoved in the leaf of a watermelon peperomia, just the leaf with just like barely even a tip on it. I'm just showing you because it's so cool what happens. So little peperomia, shoved it in, and look what comes out of it. Little teeny tiny plant came right out of that leaf. Isn't that cool? This one, I'll just leave it in here because it's not bothering anyone, and also because I don't have anywhere that I want to put it yet. Like if it started getting big leaves, maybe I'd repot it. But for some reason, they are much happier inside of a glass terrarium, which is fine. I'll put up with it because I have glass jars around. Right, all my sage this year are cuttings I kept indoors over the winter, and my sage hasn't been this bushy in a couple of years. They're so thrilled in the garden. Yeah, I don't know. The cuttings are doing better than the original plants. Speaking of cuttings that are doing well, do you guys remember when I bought, in the winter, I purchased a couple of new aloe plants, big ones, like they're in my bedroom, like the big ones that you would see, like, I don't know, not at IKEA. You'd need to get them somewhere else because they're like the large, not quite as big as like when you go to the grocery store and you can buy an aloe leaf, but pretty big overall. You can name that one Itty Bitty Watermelon after me. Really? That's the one you want, Sid? Is the jar watermelon? I'm happy to name it after you if that's what you like. Okay, so I did that in the winter with aloe plants. I took babies off of a adult plant that I purchased at the garden center, like immediately after buying the plant. I took it out of the pot, never do that. I cut apart the plant, never do that, and I repotted it, never do that. When you buy a plant, keep it for 2 or 3 months in the pot that it came in to let it get used to your house, because if you repot it, it's already going, oh my god, the air is slightly less humid or more humid or colder or warmer, or there's wind or there's no wind when it's used to the previous place. And then if you also repot it, it's like, I am dead. A lot of them will die that way. Yes, I love it. It's too cute. Okay, sold. Sid, you live with a clover in a jar. Well done. But anyway, my baby aloe has finally started to grow. It decided it's not going to die. And it's not mushy anymore. It like firmed up, and now I've got 2 baby aloes growing happily together. I moved all my aloe so that there's at least 2 per pot, because I had like this weird feeling like they prefer to be in a 2 per pot scenario, which is like, whatever. I mean, sometimes I think things and I'm like, well, that's crazy. And then sometimes I'm like, but you know what? Just in case. You know how people who are like, in a near-death situation, they'll be like, they'll pray, but they don't pray for anything normally, and they're like, well, can't hurt now. Kind of how I feel about the decisions I make about my plants. I'm like, if it's a decision that seems like I'm anthropomorphizing the plant, worst case scenario is it was pointless. Best case scenario is when the plants take over, they won't. And they're like, well, can't hurt now. Kind of how I feel about the decisions I make about my plants. I'm like, if it's a decision that seems like I'm anthropomorphizing the plant, Worst case scenario is... And we're back. Sorry. And they're like, well, can't... Oh, okie dokie. Alright, sorry about that. Internet decided to have a traumatic event, so I put the plants that we've already talked about away while I waited for the internet to reset. So hello! Sorry friends, welcome back. Sorry about that. Please like the video, blah blah blah. In worst case scenario, as we wait with bated breath, oh no! Frozen and the expression is too much. Oh no, was it awful? Okay, worst case scenario, I treat my plants like they're pets, and then the world doesn't turn me into fertilizer, or that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, me acting like my pets are sentient, my plants are sentient, isn't gonna cause any issue. Okay, so hold on. Sid is our little clover. Katina needs a plant. I don't think this one's named. Nope. This one's not named Katina. What do you think of her? This is a vining something pothos. Heart-shaped pothos. Something like that. It's from the pothos family. And I don't know what exactly it is, but it grows really well and I like it a lot. So that's a good reason to choose this one. Where are all of her arms? How many arms does she have? 1, 2, 3. I feel like there's another one in here somewhere. Oh, you guys are just babies. Haven't made their arms yet. So 3, 4. So there's 6 plants in here and 4 arms growing out. I could use that one. Isn't she pretty? Except for where CJ's bit it. So hold on. There's what a leaf looks like up close. Pretty little hearts. Aren't they nice? She's gorgeous. That's perfect. Well, perfect. Can you guys remind me tomorrow? Because my labels aren't here. They're just not around. I also have this plant. I'll tell you what your plant is called, Katina. No, I won't, because it's a tropical assorted. I forgot what it was called. Something pothos heart-shaped. I'll know what it means. And Sid, if you can remind me that yours is the baby watermelon peperomia, I'll just leave them out also. Like today, I'll just leave them here. And then tomorrow, remind me who is who in case I forget. I also have another plant that I wanted to show you because I'm very proud of her. This plant, another one that's been touch and go for a year. Do you have any spider mites? Of course you do. Oh god. Spider mites are like these itty bitty, technically they are spiders. They are part of the arachnid something something. Austin said he needed a plant too. Austin, you don't have a plant yet? Really? Augustin has a plant. Austin, yes, we need to find you a plant. Well, hold on a sec. Let me wipe all the itty bitty spiders off of my plant. So spider mites are spiders, but they're so small that you can't identify them as spiders, and also they eat plants, so they're not like a regular spider. They still make little webby spidery bits, but they eat all the soft spots on your plant. If you have spider mites on your plant, it'll just sort of look like white powder on one side, and you might see some itty bitty spider webs. And if that happens to you, you can rub it off with your hands every morning and then wash your hands. Or you can rinse it in soapy water every couple of days. But this croton, finally decided it doesn't want to die. All of my plants in the last month and a half have decided they don't want to die. Like this is all new growth. This is all new growth. A lot of new growth has happened in the last month. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's summer and like the sun and whatever. I like to think that I've convinced it. The expression looked like you foresaw the internet just collapsing on you. I mean, Kojiko though. Anyway, they all decided they don't want to die. So this croton has put 2 new leaves out, which makes me very happy because I didn't see them until they were like this. Like I found this like the day before yesterday, and I was like, new leaves? Who this? So Austin, this is not a named plant. Doesn't have a sticker on it, no name. Okay, and then the last plant to show you this morning is some variety of tropical assorted vine that I honestly don't understand. It grows slowly, and it's like, it's pretty enough. Like, I don't know. I like it, and also all the tips ended up burnt, so I think it's sensitive to water salt, which is kind of a bummer, because that means that I have to water it with like Brita water that's been left out overnight. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, and it's not a big deal. It's just remembering to pour a cup full of Brita water and then leaving it out all night is kind of like a lot to ask from me. But anyway, this plant is also decided it's time to live. So all these leaves are new. Those leaves are all new. That spiral is where the new leaves are coming out of. And those leaves are new. So it decided not to die. And this was $2 at Home Depot. No name slob. Austin said he needs a plant too. It's just a no name slob. Ooh, it has freckles. Indeed. Indeed she does. I feel like I just hate these burnt tips on these plants that I would rather just snip them off and have like blunt ends that are not brown and crusty and crumbs. I don't think this will help at all, but it'll help me, at least for a couple of days when I look at these leaves. So yeah, that's a once over of some of these are a few of my favorite things. I love plants, and I love plants, and I love plants and plants. So anyway, yeah, these are my plants, and I'm happy about them. Oh, I also have something else to update you on. The clay. Remember the clay that I was making, or have been making for several days, because I have strange hobbies. Oh, also, kind of think that I might be on the way into a downward spiral. I'm not like sad. I have like the depression cloud is somewhere nearby. So I can feel that. I slept in the last 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. In the last week, I've slept like 3 hours or 4 hours in the middle of the day, like from like 11 until Alex finishes work. So like something's going on, and it's probably just my hormones and my depression hormones, whatever they're called, acting up. But just so you guys know, if I come in here being like, nothing's actually wrong, I'm just like, I feel like I'm perhaps on the edge of something that might resemble a depression. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh my god. Also, you can still be happy and be depressed. It's different. Okay, so yesterday I poured all of that mud that I made into a pillowcase and let it sit. What? And now it has solidified slightly, almost. Hold on a sec. Just gonna, there we go. It's clay now. This is why my hands keep getting so dirty, because it likes to stick to you. I'm actually gonna play with this while we hang out, because now I'm, you know, feeling good about that. Oh, I'm on Top Chat. Let's switch that to live chat. There we go. Now I'll actually see what you guys are saying. Anyway, the internet is having a bad week and really needs to just call its therapist. Honestly, for real, it does. Anyway, what are you guys gonna be up to today? Because if I'm up to it, I'm gonna be editing. But there's this thing how do you go about getting all the not clay bits out of the clay? Okay, so Sid, this is why I'm filming a video on it, because it's actually like this super fun, wildly labor intensive process, but it's fun. Like if you have time and like, I don't know, a bunch of buckets, you're fine. So clay actually suspends in water, which means it's like, it's dissolvable. So you mix mud, any mud, you can get clay out of any mud, into water. You mix a whole bunch of mud, dirt, whatever. Stir it up until there is as much dissolved as you can. You want as little like gunk at the bottom as you can get. And then you pour all of that through a large strainer, just like a large one, like for, I don't know, like with big holes in it. And that's gonna get out. The internet. Why are you doing this? Not during the teaching portion of the stream. Bad internet. I know, right? Thought I missed the kitten story. No, not yet, Katina. I'm going to pick a piece of to have the base for my anvil in the city. Dad took down a tree. Ooh, that's exciting. That's a nice way to have a day. Well, not yet, sorta. Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry. So after you've mixed the mud in with the water, you put it through a strainer, and the strainer took out all the grass and stuff. Then you leave that watery mud for a day and a half, 2 days. And what'll happen is there will be like this clear water on top of the bucket, and then a middle section that's like thick mud, and then a bottom section of like sand. And basically you pour out the water and the mud into a pillowcase. Sorry, I'm looking at it. You pour it out into a pillowcase, and when you pour the water and the mud into the pillowcase, you don't pour I made it back. I hope you guys didn't all leave. Sorry, everyone. It was not intentional. It was because of my internet being the worst. Hold on, we're on top chat still. Well, let's go back to live. Oh, hey, T, good morning. Is there a storm over Canada? Apparently. Scolding Poppy. Yeah, probably it was Poppy. Although, can I tell you something adorable? Yesterday, I was in the garden. I'm playing with clay, for those of you that are like, what is she doing? I was out in the garden, digging at stuff, just being in the garden. And I was down on my hands and knees, pulling out weeds and planting something. Oh, I was moving some mint around. And the aforementioned chicken, Poppy, out of nowhere, she was beside me. And I was like, hello, Poppy. And she came literally right where my hands were and was looking at the dirt that I was pulling the weeds out of. So I would pull out a weed and then she'd stand like on the edges of my fingers and like, look, any bugs where you're pulling from? So we hung out for like half an hour with her just hanging out with me. And then she walked back over to the fence and just stood there. And then I got up and I picked her up and put her in the bird fence. She had no issue with me picking her up and putting her back. So I don't know where I left off with the mud clay explanation, but basically you mix soil or whatever you've got, like dirt, with water, dissolve as much of the clay as you can. Clay dissolves and suspends in the water. Then you pour that all through like a wide strainer just to get out sticks and bits of bark and rocks, things like that. Mix it up one more time, then you leave it overnight for like a day and a half, 2 days, whatever. And then after that, you take that muddy water and you pour the top of it, just probably the top like 4 out of 5 amount you pour into a pillowcase. The last bit at the bottom will be mixed with sand and grit and things you don't want in your clay. So just dispose of that, like put it in your garden or whatever. And then that clay that's in the pillowcase, all the water that's in there will leach out through the pillowcase, but the clay will stay inside. So after a day and a half or so, most of the water will leave the clay, and then you'll end up with some fun clay to play with. I haven't decided. You're not allowed to go again until we hear about the kitten. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready about the kitten? So I've been looking for a kitten for my dad. My dad is turning 60 on the weekend, and I talked to my parents, my mom, not my parents, not my dad. I talked to my mom about getting my dad a cat because they live on a farm and they don't have a barn cat. And my mom wants to get chickens, and like, if you live on a farm, that like their farm is even more farmier than my farm. My farm has neighbors. My parents' farm is like a functioning farm, like a fruit farm. So they have like a lot of space. They have coyotes and deer and stuff like that coming through. If they're gonna have chickens, they need a house cat. Plus they need a barn cat. They need a barn cat because there are mice on farms. Not in their house, which is why they don't need a house cat. They need a barn cat for like the outbuildings. And also because every farm needs a barn cat. Like I don't need to explain that, I think. Sorry, I have clay all over my hands and I'm also taking it off while I tell you this story. So I've been looking for a cat. Every cat that I've found has fallen through. I called the SPCA in my town. I called the SPCA in neighboring towns. And currently, yes, they've got kittens, yes, they've got cats, but they don't have any like kind of feral ones. They have this program in our area called Barn Buddies. And basically, cats that were born to feral mothers or cats that were found in cat colonies, they get brought into the SPCA, but they don't want to live in a house. So they sell them as a barn cat. And that's what my parents want. Oh, obviously, Sid, I'm not giving my parents a cat that is not neutered. Actually, what is interesting is I made an appointment at the vet last week for tomorrow. I didn't have a kitten at all yet, and my plan was just, I said like, hey, can I have all of the things a kitten needs? And the vet was like, yeah, sure, what kind of cat? And I was like, I don't have it yet, but I will by Thursday. And he like, okay. So we're getting it vet checked tomorrow, but neutering and that is a booked appointment. So they'll have a unneutered cat for a couple of weeks while we wait for the neutering appointment to go. I actually am picking up the cat tonight. So I found the cat online yesterday on our local like selling platform, and I contacted the person, and it's actually someone who's moving away from a farm and they have a lot of barn cats. So I was like, what's a lot? And they were like, well, you could pick whatever you want. And I was like, oh, perfect. Because I just wanted honestly, ideally it would have been from a shelter that already had been fixed and had its shots and had already been established as a cat, like as a barn cat. One of their barn buddies would have been perfect. They don't have any available right now because they only come in when they come in, you know? Anyway, so this person has a whole bunch of cats that are about 8 to 10 months old, which to me, perfect. They also have kittens that are 8 weeks old. They also have cats that are a couple of years old. This is the result of irresponsible pet management, for sure. I'm not going to hate on that person when I go pick up a cat, but those kittens should never have existed. Like when you have a barn cat, it needs to be fixed. When you have any animal that is outside experiencing the wild, it needs to be fixed, because you can't have your male cat going and getting a whole bunch of female cats pregnant and being like, well, it wasn't my fault. Yes, it was. Sid. I just state it constantly because I run into a shocking amount of people who think it's totally chill to just not get pets fixed. Yeah. There's a lot of people like that. I see that a lot with dogs, and you're like walking in the street and they have like these big jangly balls hanging down and you're like, what's going on? And then they just, are you breeding your dog? Not that I'm not a Karen, I don't like go out of my way to ask, but it's come up. Are you breeding that dog? No, we just decided not to get him fixed. I'm like, that's stupid. He could get dog cancer and dog aggression. Not needed. Anyway, we're gonna get the cat fixed regardless. I haven't decided yet. I thought I had decided that I wanted to get male because I prefer male animals, but after thinking of, oh my God, I honestly am going to lose it. I'm gonna lose it if it does not hold the stream. I'm sorry, guys. I used to think it mattered because I prefer male pets, but my dad already calls anything that's cute and little a she. Like he calls CJ a she, and he knows CJ. He's known CJ for almost 10 years. And when he sees him, he still says, oh, she's so cute. And I'm like, his name is CJ. And he's like, oh yeah, I know, he. So if he already refers to cats as she just by his way of referring to small cute things as she, maybe I should just get him a female cat. And then I was thinking, budget-wise, is it more expensive to have a female cat neutered or spayed, sorry? I imagine, because they have to actually cut in. With a boy, they just have to like snip some balls. So I imagine that it would be more expensive to have a girl. But it basically, it doesn't matter at all, and I get to pick, and I'm going tonight to pick, but I don't know. Lots of people are surprised Millicent is fixed, because she's a she. Why? All dogs should be fixed. You don't want your dog to get pregnant. You don't want your dog to get dog cancer. I have twin calico kittens, orange ones showing up for 3 weeks now. I keep feeding them and they let me pet them now. Oh, Katina, send me one. I want to give him an orange calico. My mom requested a gray tabby because apparently that is a wise choice for my dad. It's more expensive on a dog at least. Makes sense because it's, like I said, inside. Like, I imagine a vasectomy would be less than a hysterectomy, you know? Girl cats stay closer to home. Oh, fair, because the toms want to go and prowl for, oh no, that's dogs that want to prowl for, if you know. Anyway, good idea then, Sid. Girl does make sense. That said, going forward, I'm just adopting expecting mamas or new mamas with their babies and then just get everyone fixed myself. Yeah, well, if you adopt pregnant mamas from shelters, they fix them. Unless they fix them before the babies are born, which is something that happens. And although it's awful and sounds really terrible, it's like budget reasons. How has everyone's summer been? T, I have been doing well. I think my mental health is taking a dip currently, but I'm okay. I'm not feeding into it because I can feel it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like the world got cloudy around me and I have no idea what's going on. It's more like I'm feeling it coming and going, okay, time to self-care, because if I don't jump in and start taking care of myself, then like what will happen as a result will be a full-blown like week of solitude. I mean, another week of solitude. No, cats do the same thing, Laura. Girls stay close to cats do. Oh, prowling. Okay, cool. Good to know. I meant the word though, because like, again, excuse my French and the number of times I've used the word bitch today, but there's like a joke where if you have a male dog, he'll be prowling for bitches, but girl dogs are called bitches, so it's funny. Anyway, wow, just came back on now. Yeah, my internet's been questionable. Girl, are you gonna name her? Obviously she's gonna get named. I don't think I'll get to name her though, because naming a pet is like a lot of fun. Like, you know, if someone gave it to you and was like, the name is Esteban, that's what her name is, you know, then they could be like, really, I wanted to name her. So hopefully they pick a good name for her. My guess is that it'll be the name of some queen. Who's the queen of pop? She could be Madonna. My dad and mom keep themes with their animal names. And, oh, what happened? Frida, I have had quite quite nice summer. You know, though, you know, Rona. Ola's vacation starts next week. Oh, that's exciting. So here's the thing. They keep all of their pets named after kings and queens. So we started with Arthur. Arthur was our first dog, or our first like themed dog. And then Louis, Prince Louis or King Louis. And then Cleo came next, and she's Cleopatra. And then Elvis came next. Elvis is the king, you know. So that was like a funny one, but still a king. And then this next one they've got now is called David, King David, you know, like Star of David, but they call him Dave. So it doesn't have to be a real king or queen's name. It can be a modified version. So a female queen or a queen of the queen of something, you know what I mean? I've been loving the summer despite this virus, but I lost my job. I've gotten way ahead in the garden. I am gonna get ahead in the garden today and tomorrow. Oh my god, the internet. Could you jump back on, please, internet? Thank you. Jeez. Anyway, I'm gonna catch up in the garden today and tomorrow. And I'm going to probably make something out of clay today or tomorrow, because now my clay is ready to be handled and turned into something. I just don't know what to turn it into yet. But it's so heavy, which is interesting. Princess Isle is from the Hearts Are Fairy Tales, though she never made it to queen. Has to be a real queen, like they use real people. Charlotte, Latifah, J-Lo. Oh, Latifah's not bad. I think my dad would like Latifah because her name's Queen Latifah. That's funny. Or like Lizzie, because Queen Elizabeth. I don't hate Latifah. I think that's pretty funny. J-Lo, Madonna. Who else is the queen of whatever? I guess Nicki Minaj calls herself the queen of rap, right? Ariana is the queen of pop. Princess Isle. Anyway, so I'm getting a kitten tonight, and that means tomorrow on the live stream, friends, guess what you're gonna see? A freaking kitten! So you should really come to the stream tomorrow because there's gonna be a kitten. And everybody likes kittens. So join the stream tomorrow. And I'm done playing with this clay now because it has started to harden on the outside and now it's like cracking, if you can see. Excuse my nails, they were beautifully painted yesterday, but then I played in clay and mud and dirt, so that'll be cool. Rose is the queen of the garden. Aw. All right, well, I'm gonna write down these names tomorrow when we actually see her so that we can like feel it out. Also, if I get a boy, I'll tell you and then we can name a boy. I'm gonna go now though. Brittany, come tomorrow, we're gonna name a kitten. Or we're gonna come up with a list of names to provide to my parents with the kitten. Well, it's possible she was real like 1,000 years ago. I mean, I'll write it down tomorrow. Tomorrow, everybody, come to the live stream at 7 a.m. Eastern. And if the internet works, then we'll name a kitten. Or we'll come up with some really good names for kittens. The Queen of Sweden is Sylvia. Sylvia is a person that I know, so I can't. Sorry, can't be anyone that we know. Can't be anybody. Oh, Jay, I was talking about you this morning. Here's your plant. See? Jay. Ta-da. Ta-da. Oh, speaking of Jay, Joy, if you watch this later, Joy, I contacted my P.O. box and they said they don't have anything for me. So, I mean, it's not my P.O. box anymore, but they said they don't have anything for my name. So, it'll probably come back to you if you sent something there because it didn't make it to them. So, sorry. Anywho, I'm gonna go now. Drink water, wash your hands, especially Laura. Yeah, wash your hands, friends, especially if you're covered in clay. Drink water, again, important. Take care of your plants. I love all of you. Thank you for coming. And come tomorrow if you want to see a kitten. I'll show you a kitten. And if for some reason there is no kitten to show because there's a bunch of missing kittens, I don't know, then I'll bring a chicken. It's either a chicken or a kitten that you're gonna see tomorrow. So if there's no kitten, there's gonna be a chicken, and if there's a chicken, there's no kitten. So you'll have to wait till tomorrow to find out. Tune in tomorrow. Oh, wow, you start early again. Yes, I do, 7 a.m. Nice, that's when I can put Lorcan down for a nap. Lorcan. Thank you, she's looking good. So many leaves. Indeed she is. Brand new, lots of leaves. Happy day, everyone. See you tomorrow. See you in the Discord. Yes, see you all in the Discord. Have a great rest of your day. I am going to look at our modem, see if there's something I can do, like a full hard crazy reset. Who knows? Yay, animals. Exactly, Frida. Anyway, don't forget to like the video, guys. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. I have a Patreon. The link is below. All the things. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.